and welcome to Lionheart Dreamweaving. My name is Matthew, and today I have for you a pick-a-card style tarot reading about karmic blockages in your life and how to clear them. And so you have 4 choices here in front of you. You can choose based on the stone or just whatever pile you feel called to. And also, if you feel like it, you can choose multiple of these to listen to. And you'll find the timestamps to jump straight to the readings of your choice down below in the description box. And yes, without any further ado, I will get started with the readings here for you. Okay, so hello, pile number 1, and welcome to your reading about what karmic blockages do you have, and how can you help yourself to release them. So first I'm going to flip over your cards, and then I will just explain really briefly what do I mean by karmic blockages. Because maybe you've heard of this before, maybe you haven't, but anyway, it's a little bit of a confusing subject, or a subject that I think has a lot of misinterpretations around it. So I will clarify what I'm talking about specifically here when I talk about karmic blockages. So you have first 10 of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, let's see, Experiencing, which is 3 of Wands, the Outsider, which is 5 of Pentacles again, Patience, which is 7 of Pentacles, the Deer, and the Soul with Passion. Okay. So before I start interpreting the messages from these cards here, I just want to briefly explain what I mean by karmic blockages, which is so karma, and the way I understand it is it's a very simple process of action and reaction. Okay. And it's a spiritual process, right? But energetic process, but it's also in a way sort of mechanical, in the sense of it's simply actions and reactions. And I think this has gotten a little bit confused in our Western mind when we interpreted this Eastern philosophy, because it's gotten mixed up with our senses of like morality and right and wrong, and morality and punishment. So there's this idea that if you get good karma for doing good things and bad karma for doing bad things, and bad karma is a kind of punishment. And it's not, I think that's that's just a misunderstanding that comes from the very like monotheistic religion style belief of wrongdoing is punished, like sinfulness is punished. But I don't think that's how this works quite really at all. If anything, bad karma, it's just it perpetuates a cycle of something that might not necessarily be the most pleasant thing to experience, but which there's something important that can be learned from this, and that also like that it can be something to transcend out of into a more liberated state of being, a more liberated experience of consciousness. So, okay. What you have here, this is interesting because you have the 5 of Pentacles here twice. And so this is really like talking about an experience of lacking, a feeling of lacking something. and of so I think that this is really like sending like this is really relating to a cycle of experiences of poverty, of lack, and this can be materially. There is like several pentacles and earth energy here, um, or it can also be like socially as well. Feeling really isolated from people, feeling perhaps like abandoned, neglected, just very very uncomfortable life situations, basically. Um, and it's kind of like in this, it's going right through the center here with these two Five of Pentacles cards here. And this also, actually, I want to add that this can also be, especially with these two next to each other, it can be relating with mental health struggles as well, like feelings of anxiety and depression and um, such like this. So, and these can, when you're going through experiences like this, it's not like an obvious, there's no obvious way out of it, right? So, mm, but what I'm seeing a contrast here with these cards, and then the other cards here. There's really, like, in all of these other cards, I'm sensing like a feeling of deep connection to, first and foremost, to nature, and to nature and to well, this literally here says the soul, and I also sort of get that sense often with this deer card. It's like this very um, innocent, pure-hearted, high vibrational, like this thing which is like the soul of nature staring at you, right? The soul of the earth or something, which is like you're literally seeing that with these cards here. And so there's something here about the way out of this cycle of feeling lack and feeling abandonment, experiencing lack and abandonment and poverty and anxiety and depression and all these sort of struggles, which are so common, such increasingly common, seeming in our society, in human society, is this developing a deeper connection to the natural world and to a sort of communion and communication with the earth itself and with all that exists beyond human society. I'm seeing here, like, you could feel perhaps like you've been much of your life an outsider in society, or not really found well like how you fit in, and that has created like these feelings of isolation. um mm. But here, like, there's this a sort of understanding of your deeper purpose here, being alive on this planet in this body, and it's not so related to the mm, the machinations of this, like the materialistic side of our human society here, and it's more to do with like reviving and bringing this more deeper soulful connection to nature, and bridging humanity back with the plant and animal kingdom and the mineral kingdom and all of these things. And something important here is like the perception. Like there's this gigantic eyeball here staring, and these two faces here, um, they're not seeing, like in the sense that they both have their eyes closed, so they're not like physically seeing here, but they are very deeply sensing. They're very deeply in tune, and they're communicating almost like on a deeper level. Or I mean, not almost, like definitely on a deeper level, on a intuitive level, and a psychic level, on a but also like through physical sensitivity as well. Like if you think of the deer as an animal, it's such a hypersensitive creature to its surroundings. And there's something here about embracing and cultivating more that depth of perception and that sensitivity. Uh, yeah, and to somehow bridge that, with humanity in general, but like I'm thinking, but human society, like there's somehow like how industrial society has become so disconnected from the natural world. And that has caused, this sort of karmic experiences that so many people are suffering from. And so you in particular, my dear viewer, as a person, have uh, are you're in your life, you're positioned in such a way, you're born in a place where you have, and with certain gifts, and that you have greater opportunity than many other people to really develop and work to strengthen this natural connection again, the spiritual connection to our natural environment, which is um, sort of the bridge for bringing through the like a renaissance, I want to say, of the soul, in our society, and in the way that everything in the human realm functions. And it takes like there's quite a deep level of sensitivity to that. Like this eye here, it's crying, right? Like there's this water pouring out of the eye here. But I think that for you, with it, that it will in a way also bring a deeper level of peace for you, to because in a way, although that it's hard to be this sensitive, especially in the society. It puts you in a vulnerable position, but I think at the same time it will bring you a deeper sense of inner peace, and in a way it will be liberating you from uh, some of the mental turmoil here. And then also that there will uh, you will your needs, your physical needs will also be provided for as well, because like I was talking in the beginning, this Five of Pentacles talks about sometimes poverty or like lack of resources, lack of material uh, resources as well. So I think that through this process um, and following it's of course very indirect thing, but like through following this process of developing a deeper connection to nature, you will um, find a way along the way to meet all of your needs and reach greater levels of abundance. And part of that uh, is coming also through a redefinition of what abundance really means, right? So this is like um, in a way also deprogramming from so much of the conditioning of this hyper materialistic society uh, that makes it hard to be satisfied no matter what level of wealth is achieved in a material sense, so that you will reach a much deeper level of fulfillment as well, the deeper that you cultivate this connection to nature and to your own soul, and bring that through as a bridge and share that out to humanity. So, okay, I think that's all the messages that I have for you, Pile 1. Thank you very much for watching. And yes, if you liked the video, please like. And if you're interested to comment, I always love to read the comments. And subscribe if you'd like to see more content in the future. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye. Hello, Pile number 2, and welcome to your reading about karmic blockages and how to clear them. So, first I will flip the cards for you, and then I'll just briefly explain what do I mean by karmic blockages, because whether or not you know, maybe you've heard of this concept before, but I feel like there is quite a lot of confusion and misunderstanding about the topic of karma in general. So I will clarify also what do I mean by karmic blockages. But first I'll show you the cards. So 4 of Wands, 9 of Wands, we have 9 of Pentacles with ripeness, Ace of Pentacles with maturity, King of Wands with healing, Hawk. And you have 2 of these, actually. I think you're the only pile that got 2 of these cards here, so I have to make extra space here. You have fluidity with outer core, and fecundity with rain. Okay. Very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting. Okay, so what do I mean by karma? Just for me, the way I understand this is it's cause and effect, and it's a spiritual thing. It's energetic, but it's also in a way quite mechanical. It has to do with the cyclical nature of time. We think of time as being very linear, but time really moves much more cyclically in cycles, in circles. And yes, and there's very much a cause and effect type of reaction happening. And because the difference of cultures between Eastern and Western, when we Westerners think about karma, we tend to think of it in very moralistic terms of there's good karma, and good karma you get for doing good things, and bad karma is a punishment for bad things that you've done. And I think that's a sort of a mistranslation or a misunderstanding of the concept entirely. And I think it comes from this, you know, monotheistic religion, the whole emphasis on sin and punishment. punishing of sins and all of this religious history. But I think karma is more like bad karma is just something, it's not like the universe punishing you, it's just a natural cause and effect consequence, a cycle of choices which can keep us repeating cycles of experience, which we might not find those experiences pleasant, but like that there is something to learn from them spiritually. There's lessons, and then it's like the idea is that we want to liberate ourselves from continuous cycles. So, okay, this is really interesting. This is a very strong theme coming through here. I'm seeing it through pretty much all of these cards. This one thread here, and this is about sexuality. So interesting stuff. You can, and there's it can be quite intense karmic energies associated around sexuality are caused by sexual actions and by connecting sexually with certain people. And actually, when you're merging energy sexually, especially through sexual contact, it's one of the deepest, or perhaps the deepest, merging of energy possible between two people. And you can even pick up karmic energy from them, which was not yours to begin with, but you walk away from the encounter with their baggage attached to you, basically. So here, interestingly, when we're talking about like clearing karma, this might not even necessarily be your own personally accrued karma. It could be things also that you've picked up from previous sexual partners. So, yeah. Because we're seeing that here with the specifically way you have these two tarot cards, especially here. You have the four. There's a couple here, the man and the woman. This is like traditionally the marriage card, or it just talks about like a celebration here. But like look, in this card, there's a man and a woman. And this man is like hoofed. He's like to show like the indicated. It's like symbolic of the more bestial. He's a oh man, what is this character? What is this creature with the horns and the hooves? Satyr? No, that's not. Okay, I'm sorry. I won't go into the mythology side of it because I can't remember the proper name of this guy. But, and then this card here, this is like this Nine of Wands. This is the more traditional side of the Nine of Wands, but this side is talking about this wounded warrior going for basically for sexual healing into the cave with this woman. The cave is being symbolic of her body. So, and yeah. And then you have here also two very both of these oracle cards here are kind of relating with the natural sexual and reproductive energy here, and how the creative energy of it flows through us, and how we express that, and how like this I'm seeing here the plant growing in this woman's womb space here. And even with these all of these cards for real. Here, so there's like the ripe maturity. This is the seed being planted, and then ripeness, and this is like the fruit being harvested here, or when the fruit is ripe. So this is like the full cycle of creation, going from seed to ripeness, and then of course healing. So this can also be, for some of you, not for all of you, but perhaps for some of you, this can even be relating with pregnancy a child or children that which you have had. And because there's this fecundity, the like the ability of us to procreate, and then this like seed and going to to ripeness here, and the 9, like it's 9 months, and yeah. Okay, so so that's the subject in general here. And so the healing, this card can also talk about, this is King of Cups, and this can talk about like seeing, working with a healer, a therapist, a trained professional. Oh, and oh my gosh, like literally one of the hands here is over this person's navel, over the womb space here. So for some of you, there's a strong recommendation here to seek professional guidance and support and some form of therapy or healing modality in regards to, well, for some of you, this can even be as severe as sexual trauma, which I know that that's just the reality of this world, that there's many, many people who have suffered, unfortunately, very deep and hurtful trauma around sexuality through sexual acts. And this is serious stuff. So this is not something you can deal with completely on your own. So it's not something you can deal with like through tarot readings or just whatever. So like if you feel this is you and that resonates to you, I would really suggest you to seek a trained, certified, professional help and support, because yeah, they're like with trauma, like it's just not something that we can necessarily do entirely on our own. The healing process, we really do need really strong, capable people supporting us in that. So, but that's a message for some, whoever that resonates with. But for so also in general though, that this is like talking about how the sexual energy like flows within you, and like that, so that because this is about blockages, that there's somehow that it's not flowing as well as it can and should and wants to be. There's not as much fluidity there, possibly. So I'm coming to mind actually two different, or three, I guess, different recommendations. Two are sort of together and then a separate subject. So first, I guess I'll go into the separate one here with the hawk. I'm seeing this, like the hawk is talks always generally about getting like a bird's eye view of the situation. Oh gosh, excuse me. Energy clearing. So like what I was saying earlier, that this might not be even your karmic energy here. So there's a good a recommendation here to like take an assessment here, self-assessment, and reflect back, and you can even make a ceremony out of this, like for yourself, a bit of a ritual here, and like assess who your previous sexual partners have been, like bring that to mind, and then consciously make the intention to clear that energy and do some type of, I guess they call it sometimes like cord cutting ritual or something like this. Some people don't necessarily like the cutting. They But anyway, the point of the chords, but you can also like dissolve them or just anyway. But the point being that you can intentionally return the energy back to the people, and then also look into, especially if you're in a female body and you have a womb, but also if you're in a male body, you can do this like energetically speaking as well. But particularly if you're in a female body and you physically have a womb, to do some womb clearing practice as well. And I'm not going to go into the details of that. You can research that on your own, of ways to clear, do spiritually to cleanse and clear the womb space. So there's that. I would recommend that, just to cleanse and clear the energy of previous partners and people out. And then on the other side, other recommendation for getting the energy flowing again. So there's going to be two different directions here. So you can identify yourself in whichever camp that you relate to more. So there's going to be people who have been more on the hypersexual end, and then people who lean more towards the not expressing their sexual energy, or being very abstinent and not feeling very much connection to their body and their sexuality and not exploring that energy. So if you're on the end of that, you've been very sexual, or that you've been the recommendation is to take a period of abstinence from sexual activity and explore other ways to circulate that energy through your body, and what do they say? Not transmute, trans. Oh God, words are evading me today. Transfigure? No, that's not right. Anyway, to transform it into other creative energy expressions than just and to sort of move it like up through the chakra system here. That it's not just all getting stuck in the root and sacral and then only expressing through hypersexual activity. And then for the other side of you who have not been so centrally connected, to make it more of an intentional practice to explore that part of yourself and allow yourself to experience more physical pleasure, and to work with that. So either way, though, like there can be issues of trauma coming up as well through these things. So I would recommend, if you're having difficulties with that, to seek a professional therapist or some type of healer in that way as well. So I think that's all the messages I have for you, pile number 2, and thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you're interested to comment, I'm always interested to read them. And yeah, subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and I'll catch you next time, maybe. Bye. Hello, pile number 3, and welcome to your reading about karmic blockages and how to remove them. So, first I will flip the cards for you, and then I'm going to tell a little bit about my understanding of what karma is, because I think that the subject can be a little bit confused or misunderstood sometimes. And then I will get into interpreting the cards for you. So, You have Five of Wands and Wheel of Fortune. Okay. And here we have Two of Pentacles with Moment to Moment. Nine of Wands with Exhaustion. And Knight of Pentacles with Slowing Down. Okay. And also we have Eagle. And last but not least, Connection, the biome. Okay. So before I tell you what I'm seeing here, I just want to explain briefly about karma in general, the concept of it. So my understanding of karma is that it's kind of like cause and effect, cause and effect. And it's, of course, it's like a spiritual and energetic kind of process, but it's also in a certain way like mechanical to it. There's a mechanical aspect of it. In the sense that it's non-judgmental. It's not so like we have, I think, in Western our Western interpretation of the world because of the history of religions, monotheistic religions, this sort of belief, this moralistic view of karma, about there being good karma for doing good deeds and bad karma as punishment for doing bad things. I don't see it so quite that way. I don't think there's so much of a, because that comes from the idea like of sin being punished for sins, but I don't think that karma is making like moralistic judgments on us in that way. I think that there's just like it's just more of an issue of cycles, cause and effect, and then creating cycles of time because time is much more cyclical than we believe. We often see it just in a linear way, which is funny because you have this Wheel of Fortune here talking about cycles and kind of cause and effect. So yeah, I think that bad karma is just like getting caught up in repeating cycles, which are uncomfortable things we don't want to experience, that we feel a bit trapped into, and then so this reading is about how to liberate ourselves from cycles that we would not like to be in anymore. Okay. So what am I seeing here for you? So first of all, there's this sort of feeling here of trying to fight against fate or fight against the universe, fight against higher power, like being in a struggle again with it, like trying to, um, in a way, like trying to take control of your destiny in a more active kind of way, but in a way which is not uh, working so well with going in the flow of things. Like so, it ends up just being feeling like a struggling to create the kind of life that you want, create the kind of experiences that you want, the cycle, the more positive cycle for your life, getting the Wheel of Fortune to turn in your favor, so to speak, but not quite seeing the results that you want and getting this sort of exhausted, sort of burned out feeling coming out of it. Which is frustrating. It looks very frustrating, to be honest. Um, yeah, and because this eagle here is very like it's this sort of strong, masculine, like action oriented, like type of energy, and I'm seeing the sense of like trying to like take destiny by your own hands here, or like yeah take control of your own destiny type of feeling here. And so on this Wheel of Fortune here, there's two sides of this, and this is on this side. This is the magician here, and this is more of a sense of like successfully taking your destiny into your own hands and manifesting what you want. Whereas this side is more like all these strange forces of fate, these like old gods and like higher powers and things manifesting it's for you in your stead, and it's not your will dictating the forces of your life, the circumstances of your life here. So right. So what to do about this for you? So um, first of all, uh, there's something to do with um, slow down, take a step back from it. Like what have you been doing? If it's like if you've been trying to drive something forward or get to a certain outcome, and you've been repeatedly trying and trying and trying, and it's not been working out. Um, well, it's not working out. So, and it's sort of like this thing of like it's insanity to keep repeating the same if you're getting not getting results, and to keep repeating the same thing over and over, and you're not getting the results you want. It's like banging your head against a brick wall basically here. So the first thing to do to get out of this cycle, which is sort of like frustrating and exhausting, and it just makes life feel a bit like a struggle, is to just, I mean, first of all, just stop struggling. Okay. Um, and and then here, so now this is gonna sound, maybe this is gonna sound the advice here. Okay, so this is the advice. So what we're gonna need for you to get you here is more like in the flow of things, and get you moving with the river of life here, going with the flow. Um, and the advice here to get you, this is actually might sound strange, but it's gonna have to be like a inside out kind of job here. So with this biome here, connection. Mm, this is sort of like talking about the micro and the macro, and how it's sort of a fractal reflection of each other, the inner and the outer. And this is a bit hard to explain how that this works, but it really does. It really does work. So what you have going on inside your body, inside your guts, inside your organs, your inner biome. So what's going on with the bacteria and the fungus and and all of these things that are living uh, inside you actually has much more profound impact than you realize on the outwardly manifest experiences of your life, and how well you are able to manifest life that you want, or do you get caught up in these frustrating cycles? So this is, it may seem to be coming out of left field, this advice, but it's actually very directly related. Um, is to cleanse your guts, cleanse your liver, cleanse your kidneys, all of those. Uh, yes. So, and so I think you'll be very surprised actually uh, how much more smoothly the external circumstances of your life can start to flow when you clean out, when you focus on clearing the health of your inner biome. Um, there is in fact quite a strong connection and a reflective reflection mechanism, because like it's You would be surprised how much the gut bacteria um, and yeast and whatever fungus, whatever things going on in there are having a strong influence on your states of consciousness and your ability to realize your full potential as a human being. um, and also the especially those detox organs, the kidneys and the liver, and like if those aren't functioning at their optimum, mm, then you it creates quite a lot of blockages in uh, in our life because it affects our behavior and it affects our perception. So that's kind of the direct like linkage here. Like um, we sort of perceive ourselves to be like mm, like just our ego, like our self-conception as like it's like a story we tell ourselves about like I am this and this is what it means to be a human and blah blah blah. But like the reality of ourselves is like we are these biological organisms, and a lot of our moods and perceptions and such is fundamentally rooted in the health of our biological system. And so if you clear out the blockages, the physical, like biological gunk in your system, in your organs, in your guts, in your then um, it will have quite a dramatic and profound effect on the ease and flow and grace that you are able to experience and create and manifest in your life. So, yes, for you, the advice, yes, is first of all, whatever you've been trying to do, slow down, stop, like don't just keep trying to do what's not been working. And then switch gears entirely, focus more on detox, physical health, like taking better care of the body, especially the guts and the detox organs. And uh, then as your perceptions start to shift, and then to this is kind of where you're wanting to aim to be here, like this kind of guy here who's going in the flow with things and having a lot more fluidity and flexibility about how you navigate through life. And then this will put you in a much more positive cycle of fate, destiny here, karma, right? Cause and effect, cause and effect. Okay. So I think that is all the advice I have for you, pile number 3. And yes, please like the video if you liked it. And I'm always interested to read your comments if you have something to share. And yeah, if you want to see more content, then please subscribe to the channel. And thank you very much for watching. And maybe catch you next time. Bye. Hello, pile number 4, and welcome to your reading about karmic blockages and how to clear them. So, first I'm going to flip your cards, and then I will just, I want to explain briefly about what do I mean by karmic blockages, because I feel like sometimes the concept is a little bit confused or confusing or misinterpreted. And then I will go ahead and tell you what I'm seeing from the card, the messages. So first we have Queen of Wands and the Moon. Okay. And then we have Awareness, which is the Chariot. Trust, which is the Knight of Wands. And Friendliness, which is the Two of Cups. And we have the Lamb and Silence, Snow. Okay. Yeah. So, okay, before I start, I wanted to just mention briefly about karma. The way I understand karma is it's cause and effect, cause and effect. And yeah, it's of course it's like a spiritual and energetic process, but it's also in a way rather mechanical. And I think that in our Western mind and interpretation, because of our religious history with the monotheistic religions and their emphasis on like sin, punishments of sin, that we have this moralistic kind of understanding of karma, like that good karma you get for doing good deeds, and it's like a reward, and bad karma is like a punishment for bad things. And I think that's just sort of like fundamental misunderstanding of karma, and that's not how that culture originally thought of it at all. And it's more like it's just like a fact of life, and it's just cause and effect, and it's like creates cycles. So our time moves. We can think of it often like in a linear fashion, past, present, future, but actually I think time moves much more cyclically. It moves in circles and cycles and such. So bad karma and like clearing out karmic blockages and cycles is it's just this process to um, end the cause and effect of break the chain, the repeating pattern of cycles which we do not want to experience anymore, and we've already learned the lessons from. And then that so we can liberate ourselves into a new dimension of experience. Okay, so that's broad overview of my understanding of karma. And so, okay, what am I seeing here for you specifically? Interesting. I think you're already well along your way of breaking the karmic cycles which have previously bound you within. I'm seeing that here, like so this Queen of Wands, this is like fire is hot. Yes, Queen of Wands, fire is hot. So this is the front side of the Queen of Wands. This is the more traditional side, but this is like the back side, and this is showing like the throne she's sitting in, what really goes into it, like the what has gone into her source of power or her seat of power. And it's this like organic mess of tangle knot of roots which has grown here. And so that I think that this is like indicating, especially here next to this moon card, which kind of talks about like the mysteries of life and like the unconscious, the subconscious, the psychic realms, the deeper spiritual realms here, that you've already gone through, and it's underlined with this awareness. So you've already made quite a progress here of exploring through the tangles of this, and coming to deeper understanding of life. Like that's what I'm seeing with this awareness card and the silence, like that you seem to be already having realized a certain level of higher consciousness and liberation. Now, no, okay, don't get such an ego about it, because don't let it go to your head, because like there's of course there's still more levels of development, which and there's more spiritual growth which can be done here. But that I'm seeing is that you're not so, at this point, bound up in your personal baggage anymore, because you've put in the work, whatever, in your own spiritual practice. Like this silence card, I'm getting like the idea of a spiritual practice that something like that you've put in time and energy, and that you've gone relatively deep with, and it's paying off in this way of like that you're burning through already a lot of these old karmas, and releasing that from that cycle. And then so, but that's not right. That's really great, but it's not the end. uh, Life goes on anyway after that. And in in Buddhism, like where uh, there's like this concept of there's karma, the karmic cycles, and being trapped in that, and then there's dharma, and then so this is like when you've liberated yourself from the unconscious like cyclical repetition of existence, and then you uh, manifest instead like a dharmic mission. So, and this is relating more to a higher spiritual purpose relating to helping to liberate other sentient beings, other life. And so for you here, like the next step, I guess, of releasing blockages is helping other people release their blockages. And the number one thing here for you, I'm seeing, is this with this lamb and this friendliness and trust, is like kindness and compassion. So this there's this sense of like mm, yeah, especially with the lamb here and that energy. There's this, it's like healing others and liberating others and blessing others through kindness. Like this lamb often for me comes through with like Christ consciousness energy. Like if you think of like not Christianity, the religion, as in the power control structure which manipulates people and such, but like actually the guy Christ who was deeply uh, compassionate, kind person who um, even like allowed himself to be sacrificed um, for the greater purpose of healing and awakening mass amounts of people. Um, yeah, but he was also in his time a rebellious figure. He was rebellious against like the culture of the time and the authorities of the time and all of that. So in a way it's like um, yeah, that it can even be socially disruptive in certain way, um, to be like radically compassionate and kind. Um, mm, yeah, and so I think that you can use your gifts and your ability to empathize with people and your deep understanding of life, of the human condition, of the psyche, um, in a way where people uh, people are able to trust you, and it somehow interacting with you in some way, whether this be like through like conversation or even just like energetically, like um, that it can help people to untie the knots of their own issues and baggage and help them speed up the process of burning through their karma. And that's sort of the path that you're on now, and the process you're in is to bring this healing and liberation to others. Yeah, through acts of kindness, through extreme compassion, radical compassion, and deep understanding of humanity and the struggles of human nature and why people do the bad things that they do, right? Like, yeah. I think that's one of the hardest things for, like I was talking in the beginning about, like that we have, and especially in Western culture, this sort of like focus on punishment as well. Like, and the way that I think it's interesting the way that manifests through, for example, like the justice system and the prison systems in different places, and um, how punishing people for wrongdoing, right? It doesn't actually help them or help the world. It tends to actually make the problem worse because it's this cause and effect that it keeps them in this cycle of doing those bad things. Whereas if there's was more of a focus on helping those people heal and rehabilitate, some of them might actually have a much better chance to break out of that negative cycle and transcend it and start a whole new life. Yeah. So I think that this is like a blessing that you can bring to people, um, on whatever scale of life. It doesn't need to be on a large scale necessarily. I don't think spirituality depends so much on everything needing to be a mass scale. You don't need to be a Jesus and like affect the entire world, right? Directly. I think like even this can be like deeply profound, even on like very small, like personal scale, just whoever you happen to cross paths with in your life, that you offer this blessing for them just through the way that you are, through your being, for because you've cultivated this in yourself already. So yes, really, really beautiful, wonderful. Thank you for sharing this energy with me. Pile number 4, it's very nice to experience this. So yeah, and I think that's all the messages I have for you. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, if you liked the video, please like it. And if you have something to share in the comments, I'm always interested to read those. And yeah, subscribe if you'd like to see more content in the future. And yeah, maybe catch you next time.